and welcome to my live on Loving Yourself Wealthy. This is a prelude to the rest of the year. This is an opportunity to look at ways at getting started, getting refocused and getting in the swing of this wonderful, vibrant energy that we have in 2025. And we have been joined. And great, I'm looking at a cat's bum. We're joined by Hamish. He's made a wonderful entrance here. Are you coming back in? Don't knock anything over. Okay, we're going past again as we wait for people to come in. So I'm Sarah Perry, Queen of Hearts, and as many of you know, I am a value mentor, I'm a psychic, a medium, a therapist, an artist. I do lots and lots of things, but the one thing that I do focus on a lot is guiding people to create the most fulfilling and wealthy life ever, the greatest, the best experience of their life. And one of the ways to do that right now, because we are in a very, very serious retrograde place, is to really value every single moment and make it worthwhile, even if nothing is happening, especially when nothing is happening. That's when you don't want to fill the space with just a load of less quality things to do or entertainment. It's a great time to be quiet and actually value just you, your breath, and being alive. Now, I've had a lot of people come back get in contact with me this year. I've read a lot of things on social media about how last year was the worst year ever, and oh my goodness, I just can't wait for the new year to begin. That's kind of wishing your life away. I mean, every single year, if you go back over social media, so many people will be saying the same things. It's the same story every year. Everyone wants the end of the year to come because it's been challenging. But guys, folks, everyone, peeps out there is always challenges every single year. And the bigger the challenge, the more learning if you overcome it, okay? The greatest success that can come from it. It's all a process. I have many people saying to me, I've done the work. I've been doing it forever. I know this, I know that. God, seriously, folks. I am still doing it. Every single day is a learning curve. And right now, within a retrograde situation, we are really dealing with and having to address the things in our lives that have blocked us and are causing us anger, frustration. And anger and frustration causes stagnancy and stillness. It doesn't do anything. It isn't effective unless you use it productively. Now, you can either use it to communicate in a really productive way, okay, not just to get your point across or to have an opinion necessarily, or just to feel better about yourself. If you can use communication wisely during this time, you are going to create more success down the line and things will become more flowing. Okay, so this is a test right now to do that. Or you can take action that is productive, and it can be still, it can be meditation, it could be action to do nothing. And there's so many people out there that are going to be watching this, if they're not watching it now, who are people that are unable to stop. They don't know how to. They've become machines. It's like this constant grind every single day. What have I got to get done? Oh my God, I've got targets to meet. And this world has become like this. A lot to do with the financial crisis, the economy, all the changes, the need for power. It's all coming in. There isn't anything we can do about that over there because it's going to happen anyway. And that is just kind of human nature. And it's the way the world is going. Eventually, it's all just going to go boof and everything will just crash like the markets, okay? Because there won't be anywhere to go. I mean, eventually everyone will be going, well, I've got enough. What can I get? It's just this constant need for more. But we can do something about ourselves. And every year, it is a great time to reset and renew and look at what has changed during the year, what we have learned, what we can use that we originally perceive as a negative or a challenge to turn it and use it for the coming year and not do it again, right? So if you're somebody that every single year goes at the end of every year says, oh, that was the worst year of my life. That was the worst year of my life. Why? Why was it the worst year of your life? Now, I know some people have experienced losses that are out of our control. Some people have become homeless, or they've been, part of these awful weather crisis like Valencia and the floods and what's going on now in America. There's people that are experiencing that. That is out of their hands. However, there is still learning to be had. Okay, there is still learning about value, about what's important. It brings us, whenever these big things happen and occur, it brings us right back to square one. So why is it that every year we forget that? And then we repeat the process and we do exactly the same things. And then there's another crisis, and there's another situation, and there's another downfall. And it's like, oh my God, it was just the worst year. What did you do about it? That is the question. So that's what I'm here to guide you through today, to give you a little bit of an upfront bit of insight on how to reconnect, realign yourself, and turn this year into something that is so much better for you in just small, easy actions, really, really simple processes, which actually are really, really exciting. If you look at something that is generally challenging or fearful as kind of an adventure, it changes the whole situation. It brings life to your life that may feel stagnant. It's like, okay, let's go on an adventure. I mean, who loves watching adventure films, right? You watch this and you're sitting there and you're in the thrill of it all and it's all really exciting. Why not make your own life like that? If it's really dramatic and it's dark, then at least become your own hero and find your way out, create your own thriller, your own drama. Okay, I need to be very careful what I'm saying about drama, because some people just create drama all the time and it's just about the drama. No judgment here. But what I'm saying is turn the negatives at something that could be really gloomy, really boring, into something that could be effective. So for instance, say you had less money last year or this year, you've got less to use, you've got less assets, you've got to spread your money around many people, it means you're unable to have the little specialities, the little treats that you normally have. You can't just go to the supermarket and go, right, I'll have the most expensive bottle of wine or the biggest cake, or, let's just throw something in the oven because we can, well, let's go out to dinner, all of that stuff. Why not turn it around? Look at what you have in the kitchen cupboards and create a new recipe. Have fun taking all those little things and putting them together like they do on Gordon Ramsay. They say this is what you've got to work with. Create a dish. By the end of it, you could have done a recipe program, a blog, you could have written a book, right? So each day you could come up with something new. You can bring the family involved. You can make it fun and enterprising. It's no different on a rainy day where everyone used to get the board games out, right? What happens now? Everyone just sits on their iPhones and their iPads. I remember just before Christmas this year, and I live in Spain, and internet isn't that fabulous. The Wi-Fi is always a little bit hit and miss, and it's taken a while to get fibre where we are, and I need quite a strong, easy flow here with internet because of all the things that I'm doing. Anyway, my husband's generally on the TV. I'm on the computer doing something. We're looking forward to Christmas, and we put some stuff on the box set. We thought, yeah, let's sit down, we'll sit in our jammies and we'll enjoy these, this series we've been waiting to watch. And a couple of days before Christmas, the Wi-Fi went down, and I was just wondering, because it was what are we going to do? And all of a sudden it was my husband's sitting there twiddling his fingers going, and we're all having to use 4G, we can't watch TV or anything. And I'm thinking, this could be interesting. This is going to change things up. And I'm thinking, need to get a board going. And in my head, I'm thinking, what can we do? Okay, let's change this up. And the way I think was let's make this fun. Anyway, I just, it was the amount of comments on social media, oh my God, my Wi-Fi's gone. What am I going to do? Everything's gone to pot. And the fact that we rely on these things so much. But in those olden days, when I was a child, back in the 70s, we never had any of that. We used to just make our own fun. So what I'm guiding you to do is that when things get challenging, when things are dissolved, taken away from you, with those disruptions, make it a game, make it fun, and make it a win, right? So some of you may have seen my jackpot wins that I do on Facebook a lot, or I've got it on Substacks if you want to look at some of the blogs there. And the one thing I believe in is looking at the wins. Always look at the wins of the situation. If you are in darkness and you're with your family, The win is you with your family. You're not on your own. You've got each other. You could just have a laugh with it, moving around in the dark, looking for candles, make it a game, that thing. The fact you've got your family with you. In fact, you're in the dark and you've got a roof over your head and you've actually got electricity to lose. I mean, what, guys? Okay, so maybe the freezer's gone off and there was so much in the freezer. Okay, the win is we could just get it all out and we can, when the electricity comes on, we can just cook it all at once and have this massive feast. Okay, so that's a bit random. But the other win is that generally when freezers go off, the stuff stays frozen for a long time as long as you don't open the door. So that's kind of a lucky thing because that's a mechanism, right? So there's always a win. And if you were to look at all the challenges of last year and you were actually to take time to note them down, right? And I bet you that wouldn't be that easy. You may come up one or two things that were really specific. Now, if you've experienced a massive loss, you've lost a loved one or, something, massive job and you were like penniless, whatever. Obviously, that's going to reign over the whole thing. It's going to be the big umbrella. But if you are to look really, really closely, you'll probably find a lot more of those, right? And now you might be thinking, hey, that's a bit of a negative outlook. Why are you looking at the losses? But I want you to look at those first because that's what you're focusing on. So get them out the closet then. Go on, address them. If they're really that bad, have a look at them, right? So my guidance to you first is to first write a list of all the challenges you had last year and really take your time to do it. So this is a project in itself and it could be kind of fun looking over social media and, checking things out, what was going on when. And I bet you when you look through, you'll start seeing some fun stuff as well because it will pop up these funny photographs that you may have had, an unexpected meeting with somebody, a reconnection, a lovely day out, a birthday celebration, just something you wrote that was really positive. I bet you every single person has got something if you write on social media. And if you are to look back, you probably go, yeah, that was a really sad time. I had a funeral or something, but at the same time, I reconnected with all my lost family. So what I want you to do is write out this list of challenges, really focus. And in the meantime, pay attention to the positives and write a second list of the positives and fun things that happened. The firsts, the experiences you've never had before, the feelings where you laughed, when you felt your heart was really warm, where you were excited about something. Everyone has something to get excited about. I guarantee there would have been one thing in all 352 days. There must have been one moment where you smiled. And if you didn't, then I don't think you'd still be you wouldn't be watching this for a start, I'm guaranteeing it. Okay, so if you're watching this, it means there's hope, and that means that you do have an opportunity, and you do have the ability to find something good. So as you're going through that, what I call the dark list, the shadow side, then start adding to the light side, and then next to those shadow sides, after you've done all of that, then write what you learned from that negative. What was the biggest thing that came about? Did you learn to appreciate money more? Did you learn to appreciate your family more? Did you realize you were too hasty with your reactions? Did you learn that maybe you were a little bit opinionated? Did you realize that someone wasn't your best friend, that somebody didn't value as much? Did you realize you do too much to please? Where was the imbalance? Why did that happen, right? Because there's a reason that all of these things happen, okay? Death happens for a reason, right? It's time. And it comes at a time. And as you know, that when people pass away, especially when it comes to inheritance, often all that stuff comes out from the woodwork, the jealousy, the nastiness, the good people, you realize who are your friends, all those things. So there's a lot of learning that can even just come from a sudden death or a change like that, even if you knew someone was going to pass. So I'm using that as an extreme because a lot of people are going, yeah, but you can't do anything about that. That just happened. It's not your fault. The negative, the real negative here is when you look at all those challenges, and yes, you can own some of them, right? Because they were your choices, your actions. But the real negative is blaming yourself and constantly beating yourself up for it. Because the more you do it, the more likely you're going to continue doing it. All right. You feel less in yourself, you feel more lack, and then you create more lack in your life. You create more circumstances like that, and it just manifests and manifests. Right. So the thing is to own it. Hi, Denise. Sorry, I've just seen that message too. So that's hilarious. You got to own it, take responsibility if it's your responsibility. If it's not your responsibility, ask yourself, whose was it? And did you take responsibility? Did you take that on? Did you create a burden from that? Did you then carry on to self-sabotage? Did any of these challenges link up? Did one lead to another? Really be the detective. Look at all these challenges, right? All of them, really dissect them and just consider, how could have I done it different? What did I learn from it? Am I likely to do it again? If so, how can I prevent that, right? So you've done all of that. That's your the first step of all of this. Then you go back and ask yourself, what was your intention for last year? What was your intention this year? What did you start out wishing for? If you had the biggest wish this year, what would you like to achieve? And write that down. Do it now. If you've got a pen and paper, write down, what do you really want to achieve? Like the biggest dream. What was the dream last year? Is it the same? Are you asking the same thing? So then look back over all these challenges that you had this year and ask, have they got anything to do with that? Did I hit this to learn because I needed to get to that? Right. Okay. So maybe you don't know at this point. So if you've got the same wish this year, then it's really more important to make the change. Okay. If it's a different wish, fine. What I want you to do is look at it in reality. Is it possible? Is it? Is it possible to do, and ask you, are you asking for it in a year and it really is an impossibility? Now, I believe everything is possible if it's possible. And by that, I mean, if you have the know-how, if you have the physicality, if you have the mentality, all of that, right? And this, and you can create and you can manifest the circumstances, then everything is possible. If, for instance, you are colorblind and you want to become a fighter pilot, that is really, really less likely, right? Because you can't be colorblind to do it, right? So that's what I call something that is less likely. It's less possible. But the good thing is you could do something similar. So look at that dream, right? Maybe it is, I don't know, something as simple as learning to drive. Right? For some of you, that may not seem simple. It doesn't for me because I don't drive, and that was because I didn't actually enjoy it. So that's probably why it sabotaged it. But say it's just learning to drive. Maybe it is becoming something in your career. Maybe you want to study to be a vet, right? Maybe you want to become a lawyer. Maybe you want to travel abroad this year. It's something, that could be quite simple. You want to travel abroad, but you are, you're afraid of flying, for instance, right? You want to become a lawyer, but you're 46 years old and you're questioning, all that learning. My mum became an aromatherapist masseuse, I think it is, that's female, isn't it? She became that in her 60s. I think it was 60s, possibly getting near 70. And I remember her going through all these labels and learning all these names at that age. I can't imagine doing that, but she did it. And then she wanted to learn reflexology. I know people, I have a very good friend, and I really hope you get to watch this up north over the water, who has done so much stuff. She was one of the most inspiring people in my art class because she had achieved like city and guilds and things. She was always doing courses, she can do it. So why can't everyone else? There was nothing stopping her because she wanted to, she had the passion. So the start is if you've got the passion. So that needs to be behind your wish. You really, really want it. If you look at your wish and you think, I don't really want it, I'm just saying it because it's going to help me get somewhere, and everyone wants me to do it, everyone else is doing it, it looks like it's an easy way to make money, oh my God, I can be the king of the world, not the reason to do it. If this is something deep inside you that you really want to do, then write it down. Okay. Then look at it in reality. Can it be done this year? Now, if it's not able to be done this year, that's fine. You can split it in half, right? Look at the yearly term, maybe split it over 3 years. Okay. So if you want to become a lawyer, it might be 5. I don't know, but that's okay. Because what you're going to do then is split down how much you would do in that year. So you just take a portion of that dream, right? But at least you're doing it. So in this year, you'll be saying, my dream is to become a lawyer ultimately. But this year, I want to enroll in a course and I want to do the first semester, right? Simple. Or this year, I want to research doing it. Maybe that's the smallest amount you can handle this year because you're too busy. And maybe you haven't got the funds, so you need to look out for grants. So you're going to spend the whole year looking for grants. Now, once you've split this dream down and really looked at it in reality, you can really see what you can achieve in a year. Now, some people think that writing a book isn't able to be done in a year. I know you're watching this. But yeah, writing a book can be if you're very fast at it. However, getting it published and getting fame from it, or getting it on the bookshelves may take a lot longer. But if you're a very busy person, really look back. If this has been your dream, if you're looking at a dream now that's been your dream for 5 years, I want you to ask yourself why you didn't get it done. What was it that stopped you? It could be money. It could be time. It could be that you found it difficult to focus, that other things got in the way. Other people influenced you. Maybe it's confidence. Look at the thing that stopped you. That's the resistance. Then I want you to ask why you didn't do anything about that or what you could have done about that. Now, if, for instance, it's lack of confidence, okay, that is kind of a less easy one because, where do you get confidence, okay? Well, it's about putting yourself out there, maybe getting some guidance, mentoring, doing things to create confidence practice. Did you do any of that? If you didn't do any of that, then you weren't going to get where you want. So you need to look at all the things that are blocking you, stopped you doing or will stop you doing what you're doing right this moment, and then ask yourself how you can overcome that. Now, if that isn't a possibility this year, then you need to break it down again and say, well, what is possible this year? Well, this year it's possible, say you need to earn the money, right? Or you need to get a grant to take a big course, right? Over 5 years, right? And you need a year to get the money together. Fine. Then write a list of how you're going to do that and actually take action. You could look out for grant, sponsorship or whatever, or you could look at a savings plan. You're going to put this amount of money. How much money do you need? That's a really important question. The thing is, when we look for our dreams and we wish at the beginning of the year, a lot of it's like, I'm going to be a success. I'm going to do this. I'm going to write 80 books. I'm going to, but we never really make a plan or have an outline of how to do that. And I mean a realistic one. And don't get me wrong, I am so into manifestation. I work with this all the time. I do quantum leaping. I'm out there, I'm seeing myself doing, I'm feeling. That's the impetus that goes behind all of this. That's the belief. That's you building your self-belief, training your mindset to stay focused, right? And that creates what you want. However, without taking action to those manifestations, it's going to block it. You're going to take longer. It's all very well wishing, wishful thinking, hey, I really want this, it's going to happen. But unless you put your money where your mouth is, literally sometimes, or, you take action where it's needed, or you actually, get off the seat you're sitting on and just going, well, I put it out there, and it was really good and I believed it, but did you though? Because if you really believe it and you're passionate about something, you do it. You take action. If you really want something, you're going to do it. It doesn't matter how long. I've been writing a book, okay? I started this in the summer last year. I'm still working with the characters in the outline, but I love it. I just do it in little bits. I get up in the morning and go, oh, I'll do a little bit of this now and I'll check this out. And then I reread it and go, don't like that. Okay, I've got to add that in. I go out and do my research. The book for me is a process of getting me out of where I am and being in a world of imagination And it's a really great time to research, watch people, observe people. That's something that I really love to do, and, make something comedic, right? And, and it's something that I'm just enjoying as a project. And there isn't an end time. I haven't given myself an end time. I'm just thinking this year I'm going to give that time. The other thing I'm giving time to is singing, which I haven't done. I sat there watching, wishing, hoping, doing things. And I noticed that last year, and I thought, if you really want to do it, and actually a friend of mine pointed this out. She said, what are you doing? Just go and do it. And it seems so simple to her, And then I knew it was just confidence and old triggers and everything like that. So look up... Look at all the things you want, look at the reality, really do a reality check of everything you want, and then look at the little simple actions, break it down, until you've got one tiny bite of the apple that you can chew on today, because you've got time, because everyone has time to worry. Everyone has got time to look for their lost keys. Everyone has time to get out of bed and go, oh God, what a terrible year. We all have time to think negatively. So why not use that time productively? Tell yourself to shut up, right? I do this regularly. I walk down the road sometimes going like that in my head, and I go, oh, just shut up, and I say it out loud. Just shut up and get on with it. Don't waste your time. If you want to get something, you want to say something, you need to get something across, and you need to get it out of you, do it in a productive way. Go and do some exercise, go and do a run, or talk to somebody and tell them, this has upset me. This has annoyed me. I'm feeling weird. Can we talk? Communicate. But the most important thing, communicate with yourself. So much in this world now is lack of communication, because everyone's got their head down on phones, right? Okay, I'm sitting looking at a phone now, but I'm communicating honestly to you. But how can you communicate effectively with anyone until you can talk to yourself? It's almost like it's a scapegoat. Oh, well, I'll just put it at them, So thank you, Denise. Hi, Julia. Hello. Right. So we've pulled all this apart. We've looked at all these challenges. We've said, right, that's what's stopping me. How can I overcome that challenge? By doing A, B, and C. Oh, that looks too big. Okay, break it down in small parts. What can you deal with effectively? When you go and get a loan from the bank, right? You choose payment plans. This is what you need to be looking at. Time plan, energy plan. Every bit of energy you give out or you receive, it all has effect on your heart, your breathing, your energy, right? Your heart is the central center of everything. It pumps blood out to all the other organs. If the other organs don't get that, they start failing. So if you think about it, if your heart isn't full and it's happy and it's energized, how is everything else going to work? How is your life going to work? How does your life function effectively? So choose the love for yourself and the passion for yourself. Right. So we've looked at all the lessons and everything like that. Okay, I'm just looking at my notes because I think, hang on. Right. So I'm now looking at another screen. I just love this. Oh my gosh. Okay, right. Okay. So as you're looking through things, you will start seeing patterns. If you look at all that you need to do this year and then you realize that you've got the same wish that you had for the last 7 years, look at what stopped you in those years. Again, look at the pattern, start connecting the dots. Once you start doing that, it becomes a thriller, a movie, a book. You can write a book about it, guys. You took the time. Okay, so start really, really reevaluating. And then once you're really, really clear about everything, then start feeling into it. Start seeing yourself doing it. When you go to bed at night, your brain turns off, right? But your higher self kicks in. That's why when you wake up first thing in the morning, you're groggy, you're like much more kind of out there because, you're still in kind of dream state. So when you go to sleep at night, go to sleep seeing yourself achieving what you put out there. All right, see it, feel it, go to sleep with those feelings, put yourself to sleep. Instead of going to bed considering all the things that went wrong all day and all the things you got to worry about, and oh my God, is so-and-so going to talk to me tomorrow? And am I going to be late for work? And oh, how am I going to pay for the electric bill? Think about, oh God, I can see myself in that beautiful place, in that beautiful new house, lovely car, or this great job, and everyone's lovely to me. And oh my God, I've made up with so-and-so, and we're all feeling loving and forgiving. And then you'll go to bed with sweet dreams. How often have you had nightmares because you're worrying about something, you've been stressing about it all day? Well, when you go to sleep, that's when your higher self can take control and create these manifestations. So it's the best time. When you wake up, the best thing to do is to journal, get everything out, all your dreams, anything like that. Maybe you'll get some insight. Just keep writing, just let it all flood out, get it all out of your system, and you're really, really clear. And again, just tell yourself you're going to have the best day ever, and that you're excited about your day. You're excited, energize yourself. Now, to back all of this up, you can obviously help yourself with other habits, maybe nutritional ones, maybe get enough sleep, maybe eat a little bit better. So for the rest of the year, you could start a reset plan, nutrition wise, maybe do a bit of a detox, clear out the sugar or all the processed stuff. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not going to tell you how to diet, and I'm not going to tell you not to do something, because the moment that you tell yourself not to do something, you want to do it. Just alter things. Start making changes every day for the better. If your wish is to be body beautiful and slim and happy and ready for the beach, then kind of consider, okay, well, to do this, I do need to alter some things in my life. I need to change over what I'm doing. You don't have to eliminate everything immediately, because you're going to shock and then you'll just want it back. It's like going, oh my God, I've lost weight, I want to find it again, right? Look at it as like shedding the old and bringing in the new. And especially right now, we're in a full moon, this is a perfect time to do it. So a really extreme detox can actually have a really negative impact on you if you're not careful, because immediately afterwards all you're going to be thinking about is I want. So the best thing is to just prepare yourself. Do it in small chunks. Change something. Like, for instance, if you drink too much coffee, cut down the amount of coffee you have. Start with that. Okay, a small, simple thing. Say by 11 o'clock, I will only be drinking herbal tea. Maybe introduce a new type of tea. If you don't like herbal tea, because a lot of people say, I don't like greens, I don't like this. Okay, so bring in, have fun researching teas. Look at all these different things that you can bring in that could be fun. Now, I've just started, okay, and I'm really, really proud of myself. This is the 14th day that I'm doing a dry January. I have never done this in my life, okay? I've done detoxes and I've changed things up, and, my husband had diabetes, so we eliminated a lot of sugar, and, what I did is just changed stuff. So instead of flour, as in self-raising flour, I changed it to, I can't remember the name now because I have just gone like brain fog, but a different type of flour, okay, which has got less gluten. And so I used that for pastry. For sugar, like for biscuits or cakes, over here it's great because they have loads of like sugar-free cakes and stuff like that, and they taste just the same. So we just, instead of eliminating it all, we just swapped it over. So what I did is just substituted stuff in my husband's diet. I made cakes differently, I used different ingredients, I did so much more naturally, and it happened much more naturally, and now he doesn't miss it. He never really noticed. He's not a vegetable eater anyway, so I couldn't throw that at him. So dry January for me is a new thing because I've done a lot of the other stuff. And the reason I'm doing it is not for any other reason except to know that I don't need it, to prove that addiction is habit a lot of the time. Because if I have a drink, I actually just quite enjoy having a drink, and I like a bit of wine and I like the taste of it, right? And it's quite nice at the end of an evening. But over here in Spain, it's just too easy, right, to just keep going, because it's really inexpensive and everybody does it. And what I have realized is company. If you're in really good company, you don't need a drink. You really actually don't need it. And I've proved time and time again that if I'm singing or I'm dancing or whatever, I'm actually just energizing myself and making myself look like I'm drunk. And it's not actually the alcohol content because I'm sweating it all out anyway and drinking water, right? And I said to a friend the other day, because a lot of people said to me, why are you doing it? How are you doing that? Oh my God, because it's like so foreign over here in this foreign country. And I said, just to see that I can, really. I just want to prove to myself that I have control over this, that it's not like I'm breaking the habit, really. And I said, if you think about it, when you go out for coffee with someone in the morning and you're with friends and you're having fun, you go and meet friends, you don't have a drink. So why does it make a difference to have it in the evening? Why is the company then so boring in the evening? Or why is it necessary, right? But I have realised where I like to be, and I think that actually, probably have had more, because maybe the atmosphere, not, no poking at any people here or anything, but, sometimes the atmosphere just isn't there, and I just don't feel comfortable. And, it's nice to, when you get this, when you're in a group of people and you've got great company, you just have, you don't need anything really to be high. So not that I need to be high, but anyhow, so what I'm saying is substitute. So if your dream and your wish is to be something, make small changes. Again, take small bites of the apple. Substitute things that you feel you might miss because you're used to it, and just change it up, and then you just create a better habit. All right. So this is really, really, really all I've got to say. This is really simple. So you basically look at all the challenges, you look at why they were there, we do research over the last few years, decide what stopped you having what you wanted, have intentions for this year, make it realistic, start creating a plan of small actions to take. Give yourself a wish list so that every time you hit a target, that you get something from that. Maybe every day you put €1 or $1 in a jar, and then at the end of the week, when you've still continued your habit tracker, that you can use that for something that you want. Or it can go towards something that you'd like, something, a little treat that you don't normally have. That way you can give yourself the incentive and the motivation to do things. Make everything positive, and then afterwards, keep, manifest it, get into the feeling of these things, and then back it up with meditation and things that can keep you balanced, keep yourself grounded, and detox yourself. Really, if you are going to detox, then make it from situations and people, because sometimes it's the influences of others around you and the people that we are kind of gravitate towards or in a negative space that are actually is part of our blocks as well. So that's something that you can look at in more detail. But to start with, all I wanted to do was to introduce this first plan. Now, if you want some mentorship, if you want to connect with me on a more personal basis and to look at your life plan and to look at developing this from scratch, then do get in touch with me on my website. I do tailored plans one-to-one for people, but also you can have a one-off connection, one-off session. Sorry, I just keep losing my words. And to discuss things and where you're best to go as well. You can learn a lot in one session. But I wish you all the very best and a lot of positivity. And I will be sharing how far I get through January. So I'm 14 days in, and I'm learning a lot every single day. Just doing this has opened up, it's given me more clarity in other situations as well. But most importantly, keep the faith, guys. Always look at the positives. There's always a positive, even in the darkest times. There's always something to hold on to, especially if you're alive. So I wish you all well. Thank you so much for connecting with me today. Next week, I will be talking about my course on intuitive crystals. So if you want to learn more about crystals and how to use them in an easy and effective, intuitive way, then do connect with me at the same time, 11:11. This is a prelude to the course, and I will be giving you details about what I will be doing. So some of it's you can learn in your own time, you can connect with me live, or you can watch videos later. I would love to have you on board. And the following week, it will be Tarot in 10 and how you can learn to read tarot intuitively without reading the book. I can take you straight into it, how you can learn to connect and lift your vibration and connect with those cards. Similar really to the crystals, and it's all communication. I talk about communication a lot, and it's really about communicating with the card, communicating with the crystals, communicating with the energy around, but first of all, communicating with you. You can learn a lot from this about yourself, from changing habits, from focusing on new goals. And anyway, thank you so much for connecting. It's been great to have you on board, and I will speak to you soon. But please do like, share and subscribe. And please do share the new events that are coming in and put them in your Google Diary so that you are here. And thanks so much for those of you who got up, especially for this, because I know this time isn't perfect for everyone. But thank you so much, and I will connect with you all soon. Bye for now.